Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Y'all ready for this?
All right, Average Jocks fans, welcome back to week 2 of Joel and I talking out of our asses because that's what we're good at. I just gotta say, I did try to cover up a little bit. I mean, I don't think Alex is gonna be happy, but hey, until she makes some TikTok videos, she won't notice. First off, I want to wish my co-host happy birthday.
Thanks. You didn't have to do that.
Well, of course I did. Come on now. But yeah, so we're back, ready to talk a couple of things, and we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the off season is probably my favorite time of the year, and that's weird because there's no hockey on. But being somebody that worked, front office in pro sports, I live like this is the busy time of year for us would
Yeah.
be the off season. So it's this is my bread and butter. And, I love reading, like you said, the speculations and in the different kinds of like buyouts and contract stuff and draft stuff. So we're going to talk about the draft a little later on. We got some big news to start the show off with. Hockey Canada just announced that Ottawa will be the host of the 2025 World Junior Championships. That's pretty lit. That's, an hour up the road from us.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but probably my most memorable World Juniors was the last time it was in Ottawa. Dustin Tokarski was in nets, PK Subban, John Tavares, Jordan Eberle. Like, just a sweet team. There was so many good names on that team.
And I mean, the finish was great. I'm pretty sure they won. Yeah, because they won that year, correct?
They won. I think they were down like 5-4 against Russia.
No, I think it was like 6-4.
6-4.
Yeah,
And
and they
then
came back.
I know Eberle scored late,
Yeah,
but man, it was such a fun team to watch. And I remember exactly where I was whenever Eberle scored that goal.
me too.
And it,
You heard.
pardon?
I remember too where I was. So I want to hear your side, and then I'll tell mine.
Um, I was at Bernie and Viv's place, so that's my grandparents. And Bernie had kind of like my grandmother had reign of the upstairs, and my grandfather would always be shunned to the basement. And like, let's say he was, it was cold in the winter or something. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna stay up, try and watch the hockey game up in the living room. And it didn't matter. Like my grandmother would just like come in from another room, go downstairs if you want to watch that. Go downstairs. You're not watching that up here. And and then she'd leave the living room again and go do something else. And like he'd just go downstairs in his recliner and it was weird because like she painted the colors she wanted in the basement as well. Like she just really ran the show when he was along for the ride. Bless his heart. But yeah, it was just we're in his basement on Francis Ann and we're watching that and just super jazzed up. And I remember just being in love with PK Subban and then fired up. He was drafted by the Habs, and I was just like, let's do this. But no, it was such a cool experience. And I'm looking forward to, I mean, for sure, if we're not there in a media capacity, I'll be buying tickets to go to these games.
Oh, I think I'm gonna try to get to at least a game for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, 2025, Grayson will be 2 and 3.5. So I mean, I can sneak him in for because kids under 3 get in for free.
Well, fuck. I mean, great. Sorry. For those who haven't seen Ams Bebe, he's gonna be a year in like first week of July. He probably looks like he's a year and a half right
Oh,
now.
at least 3 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big boy. So I mean, he'll probably have a full beard by 3.5. He'll,
At least that or gray hair, one of the two. So
yeah, he'll be like he'll probably be like what 5'7", 175 soaking wet. Like he's gonna be a grown boy
oh, I
by
know.
3.5.
He's already eaten us out of a fucking household. Like the kid just like
Well,
like I don't know.
him or whatever Carter eats off the floor.
Oh my god, between the two of them, like it's just insane.
Yeah.
But so for me, we were living on Henry Street still. I was obviously living with my parents, of course, because I was a child. And he scored, and Eberle scored that goal, and I remember jumping and my head hitting the roof because we were in the basement and it was like a low basement,
Yeah.
and I forgot, and I just watching it on our old cable big box TV. It was fucking like just awful picture, but we hadn't gotten a box. Like we had a box upstairs, but didn't have one in the basement. And like you said, like that's a memorable moment for any kid. I remember wanting to go out and just fucking play like hockey after that. You know what I mean? Like it was so.
Well, as a Canadian kid, like I feel like there's and again, I'm talking maybe our generation. There's a few highlight Canadian hockey moments that I feel everybody can remember where they were. The Jonathan Toews, Harry Price, Patrick
Oh,
Kane showdown in the World Juniors, the Jordan Eberle goal World Juniors, the Sidney Crosby golden goal 2010 Olympics. I feel like those are top three, stick out in your head. Like everybody remembers Jonathan Toews shooting like what 15, 16 times.
I think he shot 5 times.
Oh, that's
No,
it. Okay, I thought it was more.
no, it was 3 or 4 because the rule is after three, someone can continuously go. So you have to pick three shooters, and then if it goes
Yeah,
on, you're like, yeah. I didn't even get. I wasn't even watching that. I was listening to it on the radio because I was coming back from my dad's house, and like
okay.
it was a Sunday, or I don't know why we were fucking coming back from my dad's house. Anyways, and we were listening to it in the radio on the radio, and my stepmom's on boy, and like just listen to that, and that was like to me that's still a wicked moment. Like I didn't
Yeah.
watch it, but listening. But no, I think it's gonna be great. I've seen a lot of like people being like, "Oh fuck, Ottawa, sucks," blah blah blah. It's not the first time it's there. I don't. Everyone hates in their arena. I like the arena. I mean, it's in a bad spot.
Comfortability for sure. I mean, obviously we're both Habs fans with the attire we have, decorating our backgrounds right now. But I feel like if I had to pick between sitting in the 300s at Canadian Tire Center or the 300s at the Bell Center, I'm choosing the Canadian Tire Center all day long. Like
For
their seats are
comfortability
so
or
much
like,
more comfortable. Bell
yeah,
Center, you're like sitting like almost feels like you're gonna fall out of your seat because you're sitting so like straight down. But the Canadian Tire Center, I don't feel like there's a bad seat in that house. Um, but I mean, they deserve to pack that building every 5 to 10 years.
yeah. I mean, why not? Like, there's enough room. I mean, yeah, they took out some seats. Like, what, 2 years ago they took out some seats.
Yeah, well, and again, that was just in the 100 section in one area for their like business suites, but
Yeah. You know what? Actually,
whatever.
if my stepmom's company, like her brother's company, they buy season tickets for the Sens every year, and they get first dibs on special events.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to fucking call in a favor to my uncle Mike and be like, "Hey, bud, give the old guy some tickets.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, there's 4 of them, bud, so you're getting one of them."
Huge. I didn't want to assume. I didn't want to
Yeah.
assume.
And their seats are the first row, the last row of the first bowl, right before the suites,
That's beautiful.
on the
Nobody behind you.
on the corner of the away team.
See, I love that. I love sitting in the corners.
Yeah, and the only people behind you are, I
Yeah.
mean, like fancy people that they're just there to get fucking loaded. And I mean,
And they have a
who's not?
TV. They have
Yeah,
TVs in there.
yeah. Fuck.
Um, I mean, I don't really know who the players that would be eligible to play in 2025 are, but
Yeah.
regardless, I feel like there's always a couple names that are high up in the draft that are on a Canadian team and or elite prospects that have already been drafted. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think where's the next one? I'll say is it back out west or maybe it's in Europe?
Wasn't it Europe? Wasn't it in Europe last? Yeah, there was a weird. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't remember. But anyways, it'll be sweet. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I think it's a great thing, and like it's good hockey. Like either way, like I want to get to at least a game. I mean, even if it's not a Canada game, obviously I'm gonna push for one because you want to see Canada. But
Yeah,
like, if I get tickets to a game, like let's say like Russia and Slovakia, I mean that's gonna be a great fucking game. Like I find that hockey people are always like the big things you watch at Christmas time, which I love. It sucks
hmm
for them away from their families on Christmas, but I love that shit. And like I said, I remember as a kid watching it with my dad or watching it with my mom and Joelle. I feel like World Junior Hockey is always gonna have a place in my heart, even if I don't. Well, I know like once the tournament comes around, these names are gonna be out and about more. But I mean, it wasn't like when we were younger, like the team you said earlier, like Subban, Eberle. Is it Eberle or Eberle?
I don't know.
Because I heard you saying it earlier, and I didn't want to correct you because then I was thinking to myself what it is.
Is it Eberly?
I thought it was Eberle. It could be Eberle. It depends on how he pronounces it.
I don't know. I'm gonna see if like there's a YouTube clip of like somebody saying his name.
Yeah. So it was just in Alberta.
Just for the record, first thing that comes up when I type in Jordan Eberle on YouTube, Jordan Eberle goal versus Russia World Juniors.
Oh yeah, because this one, remember, this one was in fucking the middle of the summer, like something stupid. That was stupid.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Let's see what this year's tournament is. This year's tournament, um, wait. Well, I guess it's gonna be considered
They
20.
so the guy from the NHL Network says Eberle.
Okay.
The announcer for CBC says Eberle.
So now we're just getting a whole bunch of fucking shit.
Okay, Pierre Maguire, he has to know.
Yeah, Pierre's got it up. And Pierre, if you're watching, we'd love you to have you on the podcast. So while you do that, I'm going to talk. Have whatever. It's in Sweden this year, the World Juniors.
Pierre Maguire also says Eberle.
Okay, so well, as of right now, maybe this should be a thing. Maybe we'll put a poll. I can't. We can't put a poll. I guess I could put a video poll and see which way it's said on the Facebook page. I think that's a thing we should put on.
Yeah, I think we can do that. And we'd have to put Eberle and put like Lee and then Eberle have
Yeah,
like the
next
accent
ever saw
on the
or
E,
whatever. Yeah.
just so
Well, what
people
we could
know.
do is like one of us can just make a video and then we'll just put one or two, like have a video of us saying like Eberle or Eberle.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that can be done.
I think that's something that definitely needs to be done. But no, yeah, like I was just saying, it's in Sweden. It was just in Canada, so I think they go back and forth. Like I feel like it's always like every second year somewhere in Canada.
Yeah, but I think that's only because there's not many other places. Like Canada or Europe really give a shit. Like I don't
Hmm.
think the States really fucking cares. Like hockey is sport number 5 or 6 for them.
Which is so nuts because they still breed fucking hockey players like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know
it's in
what
Sweden.
though? A lot of European countries are coming up. European countries
I
are going to be
agree.
so dominant. Germany is looking fire.
Who else looked good?
Latvia doesn't look too bad. What's the other one? The Swiss.
This, yeah. No, like I said, man, I'm always gonna love the World Juniors. I'll watch it every year. I mean, I dedicate most of my time off at Christmas time watching that.
Yep.
And I wear
Little
my old
Boxing Day action.
my Patrick Sharp Canada jersey.
Yeah. Uh, you want to shift gears now? Want to go into
Yeah.
So Gary Bettman made an announcement today that he does not believe that NHL players should wear any kind of special jerseys pregame warm-up. So that includes military jerseys, pride jerseys, indigenous jerseys, and really any jerseys in between those parameters. I'm assuming he's talking about anything that takes a political stance. I mean, I can't think of any other special jerseys that teams wear in warm-ups.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not
maybe
sure. Maybe
the
like
cancer ones. Sometimes they have like the purple cancer ones. I don't know if teams do like breast cancer with pink. I'm not sure. Um, but I feel like it's probably best for the NHL's image, the players' image, PA to just wipe that stuff out. I don't really get why it needed to be in the game in the first place. I feel like players, especially in the last decade and a half, have done a great job of marketing themselves outside of the game and taking their own stances outside, whether it's doing charity work, doing community events, working with brands, using their platforms on social media to promote things. If you want to do it, you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's players that we've seen in the NBA. Djokovic what's his name there, Jokic.
Yeah, Jokic. Yeah.
From the Nuggets there, he just wanted to go home, see his cows or his horses and his family, and it's I don't think this guy's probably somebody that's super involved in the community in Denver. He just wants to go home,
Yeah.
right? But I'm sure there's other people that are super involved in want to be there year round and you see the same thing with kind of Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield right now. Carey Price was big. Like a lot of these people spent their summers in Montreal, spent their summers promoting stuff. PK Subban with the Children's Hospital. Like people do what they want to do out in the community when they want to do it and they want to support. And to me, I would rather see somebody actually care and support a cause and speak about the cause and promote the cause that actually believes in it and gives a shit about it and wants it to succeed, because that is so much more genuine and you can tell when somebody's being genuine than just, hey boys, everybody's wearing this tonight. Like the guys aren't focused on that. Like, and again, I'm sure your brother can attest to this, and he's told you stories, and I'm sure you talking with Scott and Chase, like pre-game, these guys aren't thinking about anything other than the task at hand. Yeah. From about like 9 or 10 a.m. game day, after the game day skate, and they're going home to take a nap and eat, like it's game on. Like game face, they're focusing 110% on the game. They're not thinking about what jersey they're wearing during warm-up, what the jersey stands for. Like they are solely focused on the game. So I feel like just leave it out of the game. Let the players do it and market themselves. That's what's making money. If the team wants to throw a donation or sell jerseys or hats or whatever in those colors or those logos, whatever, to make money and to donate that money, go for it. I'm for that. But let the players that care and want to do it, and let the players that don't. And it's just going to avoid a lot more issues, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, you said it perfectly there. I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. And I think the big thing is like you said, like what, like, and I'm not, I don't. It's testy waters. I don't want to say something that someone's gonna fucking lose a fucking lid. But the big thing is, it's like hockey's a business, and it shouldn't have to be teeter tottering around all this stuff. Like you said, best
100%.
thing if if Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield want to go walk in Gay Pride Parade and they want to wear I don't give a shit. Like, good man, that's awesome. I mean, I would do it. I have nothing against them,
Yeah.
but force guys to wear jerseys, even if they don't care. No one like it's a hockey game. We want to go there and watch hockey. If I want to watch
Yeah.
politics, I'll watch the fucking news.
Yeah.
And the big thing for me, I think baseball does it right. I know we're supposed to talk about hockey, but baseball does it right. Like, for example, I'm going to use the Jays because that's what I pay attention to. Every year, it's game weekend. The whole weekend, they give giveaways. They have events outside
Yeah.
and all this stuff. The guys
Yeah.
wear normal gear. The players are involved, but on the field, it's blue and gray. It's
Yeah.
white on white. It's not
Yeah.
warm up. Some guys might come out in a t-shirt before the game, but again, that goes to them wanting to do what they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not hating on this. I just don't think
But I agree. It's 100%. It's if you're a fan and you fall into any subcategory, and let's just focus on the categories that are being singled out with these diversity nights. You were probably a hockey fan prior to these nights. Did you like I guess, and maybe it's just ignorance with the fact that I'm a straight white male. Maybe that's what it comes down to. But what do you see, like, what is this the advantage of having these nights? Like, does like, again, if we're talking gay pride, what would probably make me think more about the pride is when Luke Prokop, who to my knowledge is the only openly gay professional hockey player right now,
I didn't know that.
comes up to the NHL. I'm waiting for him to come up. Like, to me, that is spreading awareness. His story spreads awareness. Him coming up to the NHL and seeing him, or I mean, right now he's playing in the AHL. He's like one of the guys. Nobody treats him differently for that. And to me, that's what's most important in my head is I don't care if you are a visible minority, if you are a religious minority, if you are, your sexual orientation is a minority. If you can play hockey, you can play. And we're supposed to make things feel normal, right? It's all about everything being accepted. If you're pointing this out and you got to put on this big theatric show where you're wearing these jerseys and there's all these videos and there's whatever, is that not kind of pointing it out as like making it stick out like a sore thumb?
I think it's like I think it shows that they're trying too hard.
Well,
Like
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, to me,
yeah,
they're going too hard with it, where
yeah,
it's just like the cancer nights, for example. And maybe this isn't the right way to advertise it, but they'll write, you know, uh, hockey fights cancer. I'm playing for,
yeah.
Uncle Jim. You know, why wouldn't again, because there's only certain players that participate in those advertisements. If you have a brother, a sister, a cousin, aunt, uncle, friend, neighbor, whatever, that celebrates this different stuff, why not just do something like that? Like, again, to me, that is more speaking of allies than, again, throwing on a jersey that people don't necessarily care about. The players that have attachments to certain causes, I guess, are going to care. They're going to want to promote it. They're going to want to do their thing. Let it happen organically. Let it happen naturally.
Mm.
Because I feel like there's nothing that riles people up more. And I'll say this again, we've just seen over the last, 10 years that people get divided and get put on the offensive so quickly than trying to cram something down their throat, whether it's one way or another. Whatever side of the argument you're on, the biggest complaint I hear from people is, the left hand's shoving this down my throat. And then on the left side, you have the people saying, oh, well, the right hand's shoving this down my throat. And it's just like, how about we just stop shoving things down each other's throat and just let it take its course? Like, they're obviously important conversations to have with inclusivity and sensitivity to different people's stuff. And I think those are super important conversations. And those are things we should be promoting, is open conversation and open about why this stuff is important, not necessarily, like, to me, throwing a jersey on it and trying to, or in the event of singling people out, isn't necessarily promoting the right conversation.
And like the thing is, it's like these jerseys, they wear these jerseys for like 15 minutes. Like I just I think they're going at it the wrong way. Like I think, like you said, it's got to be more natural.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, I mean, some people are going to be upset about this decision. I mean, it doesn't change me. It doesn't change.
You know what,
Like,
though? From again, and maybe it's just the handful of articles I've read on stuff, but there have been people from the LGBTQ plus two, community that have said, I don't really care about the jersey. Again, maybe that is just the handful of people's in the articles that are coming up on, the different sports outlets that I read. But it sounds to me like, again, amongst at least a group of people in that community, that the jerseys don't really matter. And they'd rather see them show support in terms of, like you said, marching in a parade, maybe doing, like you said, like what baseball does, have these weekends or have a week or a home stretch where it's,
pick a day
yeah.
during, pick a day and be like, all right, so the because and
And
do an
again,
event.
sell those merch. If you want to have, make again, like a rainbow Habs jersey, or the Indigenous orange, or the cancer purple, or the breast cancer pink, and everything else they do, the military ones, have players sign it, or players that are interested. If let's say we'll just pick on Galley here. Galley has a military jersey, and he wants to promote that. Okay, we'll have Galley sign a military Gallagher jersey, and that goes up to auction.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like you have to put out 20 something jerseys each time for money.
Yeah.
Like, have the guys that are interested participate. The guys that aren't, don't. And
Yeah.
again, like, coming back to the Provorov, where this is really all started, if media wasn't there, and I mean, everybody sees the tweets or the posts that come across the bottom, so and so, in this case, Ivan Provorov not taking warm-ups, but then he plays in the game. If nobody pointed out that he wasn't on the ice for warm-ups, with how quick and how many guys are going and pucks are going, there is no chance in hell any fan noticed that Ivan Provorov was not on the ice.
And even if someone did notice, the first thing that came to their mind wouldn't be, oh, it's because he doesn't want to wear the jersey. It could be, oh, maybe he
Guy's
tweaks
taking a
something.
dump, had
Oh,
a
he's
state
shitty.
malfunction, showed up late, whatever. Like,
Skate
there's so
bro.
many things. I'm sure, if you're not living under a rock, you probably thought maybe it has something to do with the jerseys, but I don't think that would have been the only thing. And again, the other thing with the press, where straight up ask them, why didn't you take warm-ups? Like, I just feel like again this may be a situation where the left and right media stuck their nose into it, made it a bigger deal than it had to be, shined light where it necessarily didn't have to shine light, because all this did was shine a negative light on people instead of shining a positive light on the cause. Like
Yeah.
I don't think, and again, coming from a white, straight male, I don't think this did any good for the community.
Yeah.
Maybe it did, and again, I'm just ignorant to it. And if I am, please correct me.
Yeah.
But I don't see a positive that came out of this. And
No.
now, if anything, if people thought it was a positive thing to have the jerseys, I'm not saying Gary Bettman is going to make it a rule where they're banning them, but I feel like Gary Bettman coming out and saying that is almost a foreshadow to what's to come. I can't see teams participating in this. Like, I don't feel like Bettman comes out and says this if there wasn't a conversation amongst the ownership groups where we should probably stop this.
I think what this is giving them time to rethink if they want to change it.
But I
Like,
don't think he comes out. Like, I don't think Gary
no,
Bettman himself
yeah,
comes out and says this if it's a conversation of maybe.
yeah,
Like, you'll always have owners here and there that slip, oh, you're like, I would like to see this happen. Like, I feel like if this was just a conversation and it's a maybe, do what you want to do, Gary Bettman isn't the one that's coming out to say that. Like, I don't feel like it's coming from the NHL. That would come from like a specific ownership group trying to lobby for votes at the next AGM.
yeah.
But I feel like if Gary Bettman is coming out and saying it, it's probably a safe bet that most teams are going to kind of go the wayside with these warm-up jerseys.
And again, I mean, whatever. That's
As
how I feel.
long as people feel included and accepted, then to me that's all that should matter. It shouldn't matter about if players are wearing a warm-up jersey or not. And again, coming from a straight white male, I have never once went to an arena and worried about who was sitting around me, if they were whatever sexual orientation, whatever ethnic background, the color of their skin, the what disease they have. Like, I've never once went there and thought, oh, and I'm sure there's people that are, and there's sure there's people that worry about that. And to those people, you honestly have bigger fish to fry uh, than to worry about that. And I'm not sure if this is a Trailer Park Boys saying or where I heard this, but I always look at it as whatever floats your boat, as long as your boat ain't floating in my dock, which pretty much to me just sums up to do whatever the fuck you want. Doesn't bother me. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah,
And I don't expect it to bother you.
exactly.
Like I just don't see,
No, I think no.
I feel bad for the people that have to live through that. And I pity those who like worry about this shit. Like, there's so much bigger shit in life to worry about than discriminating against somebody for something like that. Like, I just feel like it's a waste of time and a waste of energy. So if you still are that bigoted, like, probably time to move on.
Yeah. No.
Just
I mean,
it's just dumb, and I hope that the different races players, like Jay Jukara, Nick Suzuki, the PK Subans, the Joel Wards, the Evander Kane's, maybe not Evander Kane's, lifestyle outside of hockey, but, C players of color, the Jones brothers, Utaka Fukafuji back in the day from Japan.
Yeah.
Andy Chiodo, like if you see people, visible minorities, your Luke Prokops as well. Any of the female hockey players, like who was it that just got engaged? It was Marie-Philippe Poulin, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
and
Maddie for that play, and I don't know what her wife's name is, her fiance.
but another teammate. Like to me, seeing these players playing the game is the inclusivity in the picture you want to paint.
Yeah,
That's the acceptedness that you should strive to see. Is that despite whatever minority issue that these players are facing, they've made it. They're successful.
yeah, they're about
They
to get
need
married.
that small margin of people that get to play pro sports in whatever capacity. Congratulations.
Yeah, with their
Like
wife.
like to
Like
me,
they bring
that's what
joy.
you want to see, is that representation in the people that support them.
Yeah,
Why are we giving 15 minutes of fame or 15 minutes of conversation, if you want to say, to the Ivan Provorovs, the Eric Stalls, the whoever else sat out for whatever night or for whatever reason? Why are we giving them the 15 minutes of fame when we should be highlighting the people that are representing these minority groups and their achievements? I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I probably talked a lot, and I'm sure there's varying opinions by varying people. But
that's how it should
in the
be.
words of Clark Griswold, uh, Jesus Christ, holy fuck, get me an aspirin.
And that's the thing that everyone should be able to have their own opinion. It's not like we said anything bad. Like you didn't say anything bad. So
I mean, I hope not. And my last intention would be to offend or to upset somebody, unless
yeah,
they're being bigoted. Then fuck you. But
yeah,
uh, my whole point is I would like to see the right people raising awareness for shit they actually give a shit about, because to me that means more. And again, I'm just trying to put myself in any kind of minority shoes where I would like to see, and it matters to me to see the representation, and they earned it under their merits, because I've been around these competitive coaches. I've spoke with these competitive coaches in different sports. They want the best player available. They don't give a shit about the rest. They don't care if you're conservative, if you're liberal, if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're trans, if you're white, if you're black, Chinese. They don't care. They want the best competitive players they can have on their team.
yeah,
And that's all it should matter at the end of the day.
yeah, exactly. And like another thing, like back to like Maddie Philip playing. I gotta get her name because I feel bad that we know who Maddie Philip playing is. We don't know
Well, I mean, I feel like if you don't know Marie-Philippe Poulin, you've probably been living under a rock. That's up there with like the Haley Wickenheisers, the Carolyn Ouellette of the world. Like they are outstanding female hockey players. What's her name?
Laura State.
Sarah Nurse as well.
Yeah,
And I mean, maybe I'm biased. I know the little more Canadian players than I do any other female players. I mean, maybe like Hillary Knight, Amanda Kessel.
yeah,
It's probably my extent.
yeah. Me too.
Lori Dupuy,
Yeah, her name is Lori Stacy.
Lori Stacy,
And yeah, so Laura. My bad, Laura. My bad.
Laura. Sorry,
Yeah,
apologies, Laura.
and that's fucking wicked, man. That's so sick. Like they're literally getting married. They play in the same hockey team,
Yeah,
and they literally just won a gold medal together. And now they're
I think they
getting
may have won a couple, but that's cool to me. Like,
wicked as
and
fuck.
again, it weird comparison, but the only comparison I can think of is like the Sedin brothers and all they accomplished together. It's like having your best friend playing with you, and
Yeah,
I think that's super cool. And how many people can say? And I mean, I hope one day there'll be a couple gay hockey players that are partners or married, and they're on the same team and they win championship together. I think that's a super cool story.
That'd be fucking wicked.
Like I said, there's a handful of people that have been able to play with their sibling and be successful. The Sedins. Okay. Can you think of it? Can you think of another?
Oh, maybe this is
like brothers in the NHL. I mean, the Sutters, maybe
Espositos.
the Espositos. But did these guys play together and be successful? That's what I'm saying. Like, not only being successful in the league, because there's others. Wayne Gretzky and his brother Brent. Just being super successful in the NHL. More the former than the latter, but highest scoring brother tandem in NHL history.
Robin Scott, Niedermeyer, are they cousins?
No, they're brothers.
And
they won in Anaheim. That's true. That's a successful pairing as well.
Yeah, it's a fucking great stat by me. I thought I was wrong for a second, but I was like, no,
no, they're brothers. They're brothers. Yeah, I don't know. The Jones brothers are in Chicago now, but Chicago's been a dumpster fire for a few years. Like, I don't know. I just think it's super cool. It's super cool. Yeah. The Stahl brothers were together in Carolina for a while. Yeah, no, it's sick.
No.
But
I think we were pretty diplomatic about that conversation.
Well, I mean, and I don't feel like we could have said whatever we want. It's our show and risk of being canceled. But I feel like at the end of the day, is it the NHL slogan? Is it Hockey Canada? I don't remember. But the what is it? How did it go? Like, if you can play, then you can play. I think that's it. I hope I didn't butcher it, but pretty much that. Like, again, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
What you look like, who you love, where you're from. I just want the best players wearing this CH. Like, that's all I want is, Stanley Cup #5 coming to Montreal. And if it takes an entire team of, black, gay, German, cancer-filled transvestites, well, then bring it on. Like, I don't care. Yeah, I just want to win a cup.
All I give a fuck about. I don't give a shit what you do in your pastime, but for 6 months out of the year, you better have your fucking A game when you're playing, put the fucking CH on. That's all I give a shit about.
100%. And
all I give a shit about.
Yeah, I think that sums up that conversation. I mean, yeah, I hope that they don't like get rid of the conversation of it.
No, I don't.
I highlight the right parts of it.
Yeah, I think they got to
feel like getting rid of the jerseys is going to eliminate the players that aren't participating, which is a negative kind of highlight for the game. I just want to see some good fucking hockey, and I want to see boys that care about whatever shit they care about be highlighted, because there's nothing that I hate more than seeing a commercial where like a player's just like half-asses it and you're like, they don't even like this. They're doing this because it's like, hey, we're giving you a lot of money.
Yeah, I agree.
Use your platform for good. Use your platform for shit you care about. And there are people that care. There's fucking fantastic human beings in every walk of life. And you want to see those people promoting, not the Ivan Provorovs or the Eric Stahls, the two that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Moving on. And this will be a shorter episode than most. Maybe not, because I feel like we talked a lot about both to start. Whenever we're like, oh, well, we'll talk 10, 15 minutes about each. We're probably over that now.
Yeah.
But we're going to wrap up with probably the NHL Awards and the NHL Draft, which are both coming up. So, Adam, we'll start with the draft. We'll go top 5 players that you think are going in the draft. We'll start with 1 Do you have anybody other than Chicago, or sorry, do you have anybody other than Connor Bedard going to the Chicago Blackhawks?
I mean, no, that's exactly who's gonna go. I mean, what a fucking story that would be. I can't even get through my sentence without laughing. Chicago would burn that man's house down. They would burn
Kyle
his house down.
Davidson? Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't blame them. So safe to say we both have Connor Bedard going first overall. Second overall to the Anaheim Ducks. Who's your pick?
I to me the obvious pick is Fantilli, but they don't need a fuck it. I think they're gonna take that Russian defense.
Michkov?
Yeah.
So the Russian forward Michkov going second overall for Adam. I am going to be bold. Well, not bold, but I'm going to go with what I feel is right in it being Adam Fantilli. I would love for him to drop and maybe Montreal move up and pick him. But fingers crossed there. But I think Adam Fantilli goes second overall to the Anaheim Ducks. Third overall to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Adam, who do you have?
I think Fantilli goes to the Blue Jackets.
I think Fantilli goes to the Blue Jackets. I disagree. The Blue Jackets, and especially their GM Jarmo Kekalainen, loves his Europeans. I think he goes with the Swedish center, Leo Carlsson. All right. Up next, we have the Phoenix Coyotes. Who do you think the Coyotes, or no, sorry, it's the San Jose Sharks. Who do the San Jose Sharks and second-year GM Mike Grier take fourth overall?
I think Leo Carlson goes to. Yeah, I'm like one pick behind you. I'm like,
yeah, you think Leo Carlson's going to the San Jose Sharks? I don't see that as a bad fit. I could definitely, if he drops, I can see that happening. Yeah. I have Dilibor Dorfsky going to. Sorry. I have Will Smith going to San Jose Sharks. I don't know why I had Dilibor Dorfsky in my head. Will Smith from the U.S. going to the Sharks. And we'll wrap up with our top five to the Montreal Canadiens.
I think again, like I'm one pick behind you. I've been reading so much about like who's much, and I just keep seeing Will Smith's name popping up. It's either Will Smith or the Russian forward, but I think he's gonna go second. So I think Montreal takes Will Smith.
And I will have the Montreal Canadiens selecting from the Russian Federation, Michkov.
I know. I don't want to wait. I fucking hate that. How many years do you have to play in the K? Does he have to play in the K?
Yes, 3 more years.
What if he goes out there and fucking shatters a leg and he's fucking? That's a waste.
But that can happen in any league.
But that's
I'm not saying Michkov is the one I want. That's just who I think they end up with. I can also see him dropping, but no later to 8. There is no way that the Washington Capitals pass up on the next Russian sniper. And who would Russia love to see take under their wing? Alexander Ovechkin.
Grade 8.
So to me, if he doesn't go 2, he goes to 5. And if he doesn't go 5, he goes to 8.
You imagine he comes to Montreal and fucking Ovechkin plays a year in Montreal?
That'd be cool. I mean, we've also had some pretty cool Russian and Belarusian guys, the Kostitsyn brothers. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, put some respect on that fucking name.
How about some Alex Kovalev?
Yeah,
Andrei Markov.
Thank you.
Yep. We've had some successful Russians. Alex Galchenyuk.
Was Roman Hamrlik Russian?
No.
And Yaroslav Spacek is Czech Republic.
Yeah, I think both those boys were Czech.
Remember when we had them on the same D pairing? Fuck, I hated that.
I hated Spacek with a passion. Just his face bothers me. Uh, so there's our top five. Adam has Bedard to the Hawks, Michkov to the Anaheim Ducks. He has Fantilli going to Columbus. He has he has Leo Carlsson going to the Sharks and Will Smith going to the Canadiens. And I have Bedard to the Hawks, Fantilli to the Ducks, Leo Carlsson to the Jackets, Will Smith to the San Jose Sharks, and Mishkov to the Canadiens. So we have the same players in the top five. We just have them going to different teams.
And
now we will get into the major awards. So we'll start with I guess ones that we don't know. The Norris. Who is your top defenseman in the NHL for this past season?
It's only regular season, right? Like playoffs don't count, correct?
Yeah, only regular season.
Like, do you think Erik Karlsson walks away with that?
I mean, that's who I'm picking.
Yeah.
EK65 went off the rails this year. I think he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, I agree. Especially after the years he's had, like.
Well, and I mean the team he had, he was the best, in my opinion, the best defenseman in the league, playing on one of the shittiest teams in the league.
So he played all 82 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't miss a game, which I did not know. 25 goals, 76 assists for 101 points. My he was a minus 26.
Yeah, but the Norris Trophy isn't for the best defensive defenseman, which I think they got to start doing.
No, I know. But that's the first time he plays 82 games since 2016. And that year he had 82 points. He was a -2, and that was 2016. So like that was when he was in Ottawa and he was unreal. So I don't know what happened. If he has like a resurgent, he's gonna come back next year like that. But I think it's Karlsson walks away with that, no problem.
You know what it is, and I said this as soon as San Jose traded for him. Both him and Burns, their production went down playing on the same team. Those are two guys that log huge minutes and need the puck on their stick to be effective.
Yeah.
Guess what? This is the first year Brent Burns isn't in San Jose since Erik Karlsson's been there.
Unreal. Had an unreal season. You can't have two quarterbacks in the power play.
You can't.
Doesn't work.
And you can't have two starting quarterbacks on one team.
No.
Because you can have one guy running each power play.
Yeah.
And that's fine because you know your power play is going to get you points. Those guys are going to pick up points regardless on the power play if one's on one, one's on the other, if they're both playing on the same power play. The issue is the 5-on-5 time. Somebody's playing more minutes than the other, and even if you split it up and you make it an even, 25-25, split up. Those guys are used to playing a 40%.
Yeah.
Or a 35%. Well, you're cutting down their ice time with the puck. Even if you play them together and you play that 35-40%, only one person can have the puck on their stick at all times. And those are both guys that like to jump up in the play. So I think Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson hindered each other playing on the same team. Again, what the fuck do I know? But that's my opinion. Yeah, I think Erik Karlsson walks away with a Norris. You also think that, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
What about your rookie of the year?
Fuck. Who was even in the race for that? I gotta see some names.
I mean, Stuart Skinner from Edmonton. Probably not Uri Slafkovsky.
Yeah, I wonder why you say that.
I really like him. I think it was the right move. I still think that.
Who the candidate? So it's Matty Beniers, Owen Power, Stuart Skinner were named finalists. So it's
Okay.
out of those three guys. That's fuck. I mean, Owen Power had a good year.
He had a good year, yeah.
Buffalo, correct? Am I right? Yeah.
He had a good year, but I think there's a runaway with this, and it's Matty Berniers.
Yeah, because
That
goaltenders.
guy is an
Yeah,
absolute stud.
yeah, and Stuart Skinner. Yeah, he played great this year. He's a rookie,
Yeah, but like an older rookie.
24. That guy is creepy. You see his fucking mustache?
I love it.
Creepy as fuck. It's a great muzzy, but yeah, I now that I see Matty Beniers, because I remember hearing a lot of his name a lot. So I think I'm gonna go with Matty Beniers.
You're switching your answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I pick somebody? I didn't think I picked.
I thought you were leaning towards Owen Power the way you were talking.
No, I was just like asking. No, yeah, no. Matty
All right,
Beniers.
Matty Beniers. So it's the same both for the first two. The Vesna.
Goalie of the year, eh? I mean, did he give it to Linus Allmark, even though he shit the bed in the
No,
playoffs?
I'm not. The other two options are Hellebuck or Ilya Sorokin.
Oh, broken, eh?
My pick personally is Sorokin. The guy has put up unreal numbers on a subpar team. Yeah, my pick's Ilya Sorokin.
I think I'm gonna go Hallback.
Connor Hellebuck, our first differential.
Yeah, yeah. Just a little curveball.
And the last one, I guess we'll talk about, or um, I guess we can go through some of the other trophies that haven't announced the winners, like the Conn Smythe.
Ah,
What?
I almost just shit myself all season there. So what else do they got? You got, well, do we care about the Lady Bing?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, here. I was pulling up the site I was reading earlier for where it had the finalists. So the Hart, which is the most valuable player to his team, there's McDavid, Pasternak, Matthew Tkachuk.
You go first this time.
I'm going Connor McDavid. I don't see how it's not every year Connor McDavid. We should just rename this trophy the Connor McDavid. Um, the guy, him and Leon Draisaitl, people joke, oh, you only do arms. These boys only do back because
Yeah,
the amount of times they have to put the team on their goddamn backs and just out offense their way to a win is ridiculous. If we're mixing playoffs into there, Matthew Tkachuk had a great regular season, but playoffs, him and Sergei Bobrovsky carried the Panthers there.
yeah, but yeah,
In Pasternak, as long as that three-headed monster of him, Marchand, Bergeron remain intact, and they have Charlie McAvoy, and they had both goaltenders in Swayman and Allmark performing the way they do, they don't need a one-man horse.
no.
You know, uh, so to me, in order of it goes McDavid by a country mile, Matthew Tkachuk, and then like a 10K between him and Pasternak.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. It's a good assessment to it.
We already said the Vesna, the Ted Lindsay. So this is the most outstanding player voted on by his peers. Again, we have Erik Karlsson, Connor McDavid, David Pasternak. And again, my pick is Connor McDavid, Erik Karlsson, and David Pasternak in that order. McDavid again, just he puts up crazy numbers. And to me, how you vote for, I mean, Erik Karlsson putting up the numbers he did at his age after his injuries on the team he has as a defenseman, I applaud that. But Connor McDavid is a freak.
Yeah. I'm going to say Carlson, though.
You're going to say Karlsson?
Yeah.
I could see that going that way, but again, I just feel like if somebody gives you a gift horse like Connor McDavid,
Just give him all the awards.
and you don't take it, you're a fool, and I'm not
Yeah.
going to be a fool.
No, I know. I get you.
All right.
I like to be different, you know.
We both said Erik Karlsson for the Norris, but just for fun, there's also Adam Fox and Makar. I would have Fox and then Makar. Colorado and Makar took a step back this year, in my opinion. You?
Yeah.
All right. The Calder, we already said that. We had Berniers. I have Owen Power in second, Skinner in third. The Selke, which is the best defensive forward, Bergeron, Heischer, Marner, and I would go in that order again. Bergeron, Heischer, Meyer. Bergeron is just next level as a defensive forward, and I think it's his trophy until he retires.
Agreed.
Anyway.
Yeah, guy's so good.
So good. And Nico Heischer's crazy as well. The Lady Bing, least penalized player, most gentlemanlike, Jack Hughes, Anze Kopitar, Braden Point. I feel like it's Anze Kopitar for me. I feel like you never see, videos of Anze Kopitar kind of, being snarky, or you see him running his mouth, or, being an ass. I feel like I've seen like Jack Hughes stuff where he kind of looks like a punk young kid out there. And, Braden Point is just, I don't know. I just feel like personality wise, he just looks like a rat. I don't know.
Yeah, I go Kopitar, Hughes, Point.
That is also my order. The Jack Adams Coach of the Year. Dave Hackstall from the Seattle Kraken, Jim Montgomery from the Bruins, Lindy Ruff from the Devils. I feel like consensus would probably be either Hackstall or Montgomery, but I'm picking Lindy Ruff.
I was gonna fucking say that. Then I was gonna make it look like we wrote it down.
Just because we didn't. We didn't even we planned what we were going to talk about 30 seconds before hitting record.
Because that's how we do it on the Average Jocks podcast, baby.
Well, especially when we don't have a guest on, the prep is kind of like, what are you feeling? What are you feeling?
Yeah, I was literally at Subway like 5 minutes before we came on.
So Jack Adams, I'm picking Lindy Ruff. I think the Devils made a huge jump this year. Everybody, picked the Bruins to do well and to make the playoffs. They did really well, but I don't know. I still think Lindy Ruff showed the biggest jump with what he was able to do with his squad. Second place for me, the Seattle Kraken and Dave Hackstall. I just feel like maybe Lindy Ruff is doing more with less.
Yep. That's why I think he deserves it.
Moving on, the Bill Masterson Trophy, the most sportsmanlike player and showing dedication to hockey. So these are players that would have bounce back seasons from something. So Alex Stalock with the Hawks, Chris Letang with the Penguins, Clayton Keller with the Coyotes. Again, maybe this is like ignorance on my part. Not sure what Stalock or Keller are coming back from, or what their bounce back is. But I know what Chris Letang's is. The guy had like 3 strokes.
And he's also had blood clot in his legs before, remember?
Yeah, and the guy is putting up great numbers on a declining Pens team as an old guy. So to me, I'm picking Chris Letang, and the other two are a tie because I don't know what their bounce back is. I don't know if it's just playing in shitty hockey markets and being just putting up with it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Those were the NHL awards.
And Letang's got a great fucking set of hair.
Great set of hair. And he's a French boy. And,
Yeah.
they always say they're going to come back and play Montreal for 1 year. God bless Danny Briere's heart. In the last thing we bring up as we're making, we made our draft predictions and our award predictions. I was reading today that Vegas has announced the betting odds for the Stanley Cup champion next year. So before I say what the Vegas odds are, and you may have seen this already, Adam, who is your East and West finalists for the Stanley Cup, and who is your winner?
Holy fuck.
And we are making these choices pre draft, pre trade market and free agency opening up.
I was not expecting this question, motherfucker. Wow.
Because I'm wanting your gut. I'm wanting some raw gut.
Bold prediction: Vegas makes it back to the finals.
Okay.
And I think Carolina makes it.
So Carolina, Vegas, and who do you have winning?
Carolina.
Fair enough. So wasn't so much of a bold prediction because the favorites, according to Vegas, to win the Stanley Cup is Vegas. So so it wasn't very bold. It didn't turn out to be bold.
Yeah.
They're gonna disappoint me again, but I have the Edmonton Oilers going to the Cup final solely based on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and hopefully the goaltending and defense can fix itself and bottom six scoring. Something happens. I feel like I just can't in my heart bet against those two boys. And in the East, I'm going to go with the New York Rangers. I think they're going to figure something out, and I think it's a Rangers-Oilers final. And I just pray to God the Oilers win. Redemption for the 06 boys that I fell in love with, Fernando Pisani, Dwayne Rollison, fucking Chris Pronger, Rafi Torres, Sean Horkov, Alish Hemsky, Ryan Smith, Jason Smith.
Is Jeff Carter still there?
Jeff Carter?
He played Edmonton? I thought he did.
No.
He played at
Hanson right? Carter.
Hanson. Well, I mean, that's not.
No, Jeff Carter played what? LA, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. No, I think that's it.
I'm fucking thinking.
Hanson Carter, baby.
Could be, but no, I remember Hanson Carter.
Rob Schremp, friend of the show.
Friend of the pod, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Vegas odds of the Golden Knights repeating.
Weird how that works, eh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when Tampa won, they were also the favorites next year. I don't know if that's how it always works, but it seems last few years that's how it's worked. Pretty sure at the beginning of last season, Colorado was favorited to win again. So we'll see if those pan out. Sometimes they do. Most of the times they don't. But we'll wrap it up from here. We probably ran longer than we expected, and
fuck it.
What?
Fuck it, happens.
Way she goes, Bubs.
Yeah, enjoy the road, Bubs.
All right. We'll let you go. Next week, we have somebody that we booked. One of the first guests we booked, honestly, and this is predating Adam being on the show, and it was back with me and Mr. Gray. We booked Zach Fucal, and it's finally that time to sit down and speak with him. So looking forward to having that. I'm sure you guys are sick of just seeing the two of us. You guys tune in for the famous guests we have on. So next week, Zach Fucal is back. We have a great lineup for the rest of the summer that we'll release Maybe next week if you guys are lucky. And for now, take care. Go Habs, go.
Take care. Brush your hair.
And as Ellen DeGeneres would say, be kind to one another. Average Jocks out.